What's going on, Roster Wars? I hope this is going to work. I have trying something new today to try to fill in and help out Colin. I know that Eric and Sam both took a look at my matchup with the Oysters, so I figured I would try to take a look at the other matchup in the TT that might have some playoff implications. That's the Vipers and the Pigskins. So let's see if this works and if I can get it uploaded. Just gonna take a quick look. My wife is in the shower right now. She's probably wondering if I'm talking to myself. So first, we'll take a look at the QBs. On the pigskin side, or the filthy faculty, we have Baker and Kyler. On the Vipers side, going up against Geno and Russell Wilson. Wilson did put up 14.9 last night. Okay game. I think if we take a quick glance, my advantage would go to the Pigskins. Arizona, not exactly a great defense, but Geno, not exactly somebody you want to put a ton of faith in. Baker against an awful Giants team. Kyler going up against Seattle. I think the edge goes to the Pigskins. Taking a look at the running backs, we'll start with the Pigskins faculty here. Kareem Hunt gets to lead the backfield again with Pacheco out for the weekend. One more time. Still can't wait till he comes back to my roster. Then you add in Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones. Take a look at the Vipers. We've got Joe Mixon, questionable DeAndre Swift, and Kyren Williams. Let's take a look at Swift and what it says here. So he gets back to limited on Thursday, listed as questionable. More likely than not to play. That's a good sign for Colin. Mixon had a huge week last week, helped Colin come back on Monday night. I think overall we're going to give the slight advantage to the Vipers here. It is 3 versus 3. Let's move on to wide receivers. Filthy faculty, Marvin Harrison, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb with God knows who throwing him the ball. The Sun God. It's quite big names there. Going over to the Vipers. Scary Terry, DK Metcalf, Michael Pittman, who's been extremely disappointing. I do own him elsewhere. Take a look at his scores recently. No double digits since week 6. Big name, not exactly putting up big numbers. As to be expected in every matchup in which Matt is involved, we're going to give him the advantage on the wide receiver side. Tight ends, Dallas Goedert and George Kittle for the Vipers. Matt gets to run out his shiny new toy in Brock Bowers. Going up against the Denver team, Bo Nix, an impressive and unexpectedly good team this season. Take a quick look at Brock Bowers' numbers, 37.8 last week. He's averaging almost 20 points a game. Looking over for the Vipers, Goddard's looked pretty good last 2 weeks, averaging 12.8 overall, but that's boosted by one single week of 31.5. George Kittle avoids an injury designation, always a good thing, averaging about 20 points. Wouldn't be surprised if when all was said and done, we'd end up with an even score here, but with Matt only going with one, Colin having two, that's got to be a little disconcerting for Colin. PK, Justin Tucker versus Austin Seibert. Who really cares? Going to the DTs. Matt's going to run out 3. He's got Zach Allen, who is questionable. Take a quick look at him. Full practice on Thursday. So, sandwiched in between limited Wednesday and Friday. I'm guessing he's going to play. Let's see. Ishawn Robinson, recent acquisition for Matt, throwing up some big numbers coming from the Hatteras Bay Mad Goats. Another recent acquisition, Jeffrey Simmons, coming over from the Atlanta Arsenic. The Alaska Arsenic. Just moved you down south, Haji. Sorry about that. Also big numbers. Colin's going to run out. Those were all Colin. I'm sorry, there we go. Colin's going to run out. Defoe Buckner, always a threat to be DT1. Not having as good a year. Averaging 19 points. Numbers not bad. Calais Campbell, also on the injury report. Looks like he's going to go. There's no questionable tag. He's also been averaging some pretty big numbers lately. I think we're going to give the advantage to the Filthy Faculty just because it's 3v2. DEs, Max Crosby, again, always a big threat to be the DE1. But this season hasn't really materialized. Only 12 points its last 2 weeks that he's played, and 7.5 the week before that. Somehow averaging 16.1, really bolstered by an early week of 36. Work over to the Filthy Faculty. Jonathan Greenard, averaging 13.8. That's a little misleading. His numbers almost look better than Crosby's. Somehow the average is lower. Harold Landry, also putting up decent numbers. I think overall we're going to give a slight advantage name to Max Crosby and the Vipers, although 1v2, maybe this ends up even when all is said and done. Taking a look at the linebackers. Matt and the Filthy Faculty here have Jack Campbell, Christian Roseboom, and EJ Speed. Campbell will get some bigger numbers with Alex Anzalone going on IR, broken forearm. Another guy I traded for, and of course, ended up being trash. Christian Roseboom, let's take a look at his numbers. Pretty decent the last couple of weeks. Let's see who Colin's going to run out in our linebackers here. Nick Bolton, disappointing season so far. Good numbers, not great numbers. You expect more from somebody who could very well be the LB1. Jordan Brooks, not bad at all. 23 the last 2 weeks. If he can keep that up, it'd be helpful to Colin. Jersey Jewell, Eric Hendricks, Bobby Wagner. Anytime you're running out five linebackers versus three, you're going to have the advantage. And quite frankly, Colin's linebackers are probably better. EJ Speed's probably the best of the bunch for Matt, but I don't think he can make up the difference. We'll just skip cornerbacks. Nobody cares. Going into safety, Buda Baker. I think he's the safety one, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty big numbers this year. Quentin Lake for the Rams. Big week last week. Averaging pretty decent for a safety. Take a look at Collins running out at safety. Collins going with two cornerbacks, so maybe we did have to pay a little bit more attention. Collins only got Julian Love going out. Safety spot, decent numbers, little inconsistent, although he's looked okay lately. Take a look real quick at Collins' cornerbacks. Big numbers out of Riley Moss. Gotta admit, not quite sure who that is. And Kenny Moore, him I know. He's got huge numbers. I think he might be the CB1, quite frankly. So, overall, advantage at safety to Matt, advantage at cornerback to Colin, I guess. If you take a look at the whole thing, I do think we have to give the slight advantage to Matt overall. Matt's looking for a bye. He's got to run out his best lineup. I think just the advantage that Matt's going to have at wide receiver and cornerback might make the difference. Sorry, Matt, that's usually the kiss of death when I pick you.